Welcome to the Sacred Window podcast. Here, we look closely at the intersections of the postpartum window, the Ayurvedic perspective on health and healing, and the universal mother principles that are the keys to giving and receiving effective care. Hello, I'm Devlin Eck. I'll be taking you through interviews with professionals who are making a profound difference in the lives of their clients, conversations with individuals brave enough to share their stories of vulnerability as a way to lift up others, and my own journey through birth, parenting, caregiving, and building a conscious business. We are here to honor the sacred windows, the profound transitions in life that give it all meaning. Welcome to the conversation.
And I will never be the same again.
Welcome to the Sacred Window podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to promote bonding for partners, for older children, for other primary caregivers. In the postpartum window, it's kind of the primary focus tends to be on how to create bonding between the birthing parent, the mom, and the baby. And this is really important. And it's also something that tends to happen very naturally if we support the person's nutrition, if we support their access to rest. This bonding process will happen. It's different for everyone. It may take longer or shorter for some people, but what I want to focus on in this episode is really how to create that beautiful experience of connection, of heart to heart love and understanding and knowing and subtle communication, this bonding experience for dads, for partners, for older siblings in the home, for grandparents, for beloved people of the family. And by extension, I think that this awareness, the skill set, benefits relationship far beyond the postpartum window and trying to establish bonding. This is a skill set that we can immediately apply to 20 years down the road when our children are growing and we are, trying to stay fresh with our partners. We're trying to really create meaningful relationships in our lives. How can we cross over? I always like to really emphasize how the postpartum window doesn't happen in this isolated space. It is this microcosm of something that overlaps. It's part of the fabric of life. So all of the skills that we gain for really treating this sacred window as sacred, we can apply to so many different aspects of life. So before I get too excited and go off far on that tangent, which I tend to do, let's kind of dive into some primary ways that we can support bonding for non-birth parents. So the first one is really about skills. So often partners feel stress because they don't know how to be helpful. Whether it's sort of that age-old assumption that, oh, send the dad to go boil water and get him out of the way, and we laugh at that. But for so long, it was really treated as get them out of the way. This has nothing to do with them. And so I think there's this thread of, do I belong here? Am I able to enter into this sacred space in the same way? How can we create meaningful presence, meaningful purpose for partners, which will immediately shift the experience of the birth parent and the entire family together when the whole family is feeling like they are part of this journey. Healing becomes greater. Transition becomes easier. So when we, that's like what we're doing here at Sacred Window Studies is really looking at how do we build direct skills that contribute to the healing of an individual on a physical level, on a mental level, on an emotional level, and honoring the sacred in this transition through the postpartum window, which is often just forgotten about. Families will have their baby. If they're at a hospital, they're sent home maybe with a little goodie bag with some samples of things and formula and whatever, but there really isn't any guidance. So, being proactive during pregnancy and starting to help partners develop some skills, encouraging them to go do their own research, whether it's read this book. I shared all that I was learning from the Touching Heaven volumes from Misha Oakes, who was my teacher. And I printed out my favorite recipes and I had them in the kitchen and they were easy. Like the cool thing about postpartum cooking is that we're talking about simple foods here. So, how can our partners or our clients' partners feel included? Let's teach them some super simple recipes. First day's rice pudding, so easy. Tiny handful of ingredients. Set it, forget it, stir it once in a while. It's amazing. It's really one of the best things I've ever had, and I still continue to love it to this day. How can we teach them how to make a really easy lactation tea? A pinch of this, a pinch of this, put boiling water on top of it, let it sit for a half an hour. Let's get through that in a day. They can be the ones to help make sure is your thermos full? What can I get you? That is a huge task that might seem menial, but it is a game changer for the person who is trying to heal after birth, is having that fresh tea always available, something hot, someone's looking, someone's paying attention. We taught my mother-in-law how to make the dashmul decoction. And so every morning she would dutifully make the decoction. And so every day consistently I had this primary herbal support recipe, and she felt really happy to do it. And it made a huge difference in my ability to recover. Things like, teaching the little ones, things how to, we've had little children giving their mamas foot massages or, bringing them an extra pillow, making sure that the whole family is encouraged to be a part of this process. And what are some simple ways that we can prepare so that these vital people in our lives can be of support, and by extension, everyone feels more rested, everyone feels more resourced, everyone feels like they have the stamina to have time to connect with the new baby and bond with this new baby. There's a tremendous amount of relaxation and stress reduction when we're prepared for something. So, how does it shift the ability to really feel connected with baby and with mom, with our partner, with our beloveds, when we have a sense of security and a sense of knowing and a sense of belonging? So, that's one, skills. How are you sharing your gifts and passion for caregiving with others? In a world where education and awareness around the postpartum window is lacking or missing from our modern systems, we have a profound opportunity to shift that paradigm. You may be a few simple offerings away from making a truly impactful difference in the lives of mothers and families in your community. We are here to support your journey in the ways that work best for you. Schedule a conscious care strategy session to meet one on one with me, and let's identify the right next step for you to begin a path of conscious care for new families that fits your life and your needs. Visit www.sacredwindowstudies.com/strategy-session to schedule a time that works best for you. That's www.sacredwindowstudies.com/strategy-session. Let's go to number two. This is something that I love to teach families to do, and that's infant Abhyanga or Ayurvedic warm oil massage. So warm oil massage, warm oil put on the skin is one of the most incredible ways to restore strength, to integrate on subtle levels of the mind and the heart, to create better, more fluid circulation, to loosen tissues and ligaments and bones and muscles that are, um, you know, potentially in a place that we don't feel comfortable in. Infant Abhyanga is also an incredible way to increase oxytocin, which, this is known commonly as the love hormone. Oxytocin is what is released when we orgasm. It's responsible, it has a very key place in birth. It is also something that's released when people breastfeed their children. And so this is part of the chemical release that's responsible for bonding. One way that non-birth parents and anybody else can experience this oxytocin release is through massaging their babies. So I love to teach older siblings and partners and grandparents, whoever's going to be there. I want them to be a part of learning how to offer this beautiful and simple and really important practice. Traditionally in Ayurveda, Abhyanga is something that's given every single day as a part of a daily routine. Whether you are postpartum or not, putting oil on your skin, massaging it is part of the deal, and it's incredibly beneficial for health on so many levels. But particularly in postpartum, in the West, where we don't generally have that kind of practice, we extremely emphasize Abhyanga, warm oil, for the postpartum window. So for infants, this is an incredible way to open the door to increase bonding and to create like a settled routine. There's a anecdote that our bodywork instructor Charlotte usually shares, that she has a picture of this family in her course materials where it's this family of twins, and the the partner, the dad, would his routine was to do the Ayurvedic infant massage while his wife, who had just had these babies, would do her own oil massage. So she would do the self massage. He would do the infant massage on the floor of the bathroom. They would each get what they needed. They had an older sibling, so they would take turns. The dad would do one baby and the older sibling would do the other. And then the next day they would switch. And it was just the most beautiful whole family bonding experience that really brought everybody together in service of healing and transition and love and all of it. So Infant Abhyanga, I'm going to make sure that there is a great resource for all of you who are listening to this in the show notes, that you can sign up for really looking closely at these tools with some additional resources to teach you how to do it. Um, so yeah, let's go to number 3. So the third um, is about family support and self-care for the partner. So oftentimes, if we're lucky, families will prepare and prioritize for support for the birthing person. Who's coming to take care of the mom? Can we get some meal support? Can we get some, postpartum care? What can we do? Let's put some support in place. And this is becoming more and more common, and it's amazing to see. However, way too often, the partner is the primary care provider and they become burnt out. So when we are considering how to create a truly open flow towards bonding for everyone in this family, a close relationship to the baby, one that offers time and space for things like just being held, just being quiet, not having to jump up and do all of the cooking, all of the housework, all of the things for older children. How is the partner being cared for? I have done a number of Abhyangas for dads, for grandmas, finding ways that they can be included in checking in. How are you doing? Are you getting enough sleep? What do you need right now? And this is a really great thing for the caregiver, the postpartum doula, the people coming in to remember, hey, what do you need? Is there anything I can do for you? And I think this also can be extended towards older children. Oftentimes, I really felt unable to stop and take care of myself until I felt like everybody else in the house was taken care of. So, knowing that my older kids had, oh, someone's coming over to take you on an excursion today, or preschool's happening, or these are the things that are set up for you, created the ability for me to then truly rest. And so really prioritizing in the planning process, who is my community? Who is here? There's always somebody that can help. But too often in this isolated, independent world that we sometimes experience by default of the way our culture is set up and how it's changed over generations, we are often feeling really alone and also hesitant to ask for help. So those people who are coming in and studying conscious postpartum care and traditional systems like Ayurveda, we recognize that this is a community, a village process. And what happens when people feel cared for by their village is that we automatically grow closer to one another. We have the bandwidth, we have the ability to release and open our hearts to connect with one another, to increase our experience of positive love hormone release, such as oxytocin. So I can't emphasize enough how we have this incredibly rich opportunity to experience more love, more connection, greater relationship between parents, between babies, between spouses, between partners. We have an ability here with forethought, with planning, with skill development, with awareness. And this is not super hard stuff to accomplish. It's doable, and the rewards are massive. The one incredible skill that I would put above all other is learn to put oil, warm oil, and massage your baby, massage yourself, massage your older children. Something will shift as you experience the warm oil penetrating and being digested by your skin. And just notice the way that it changes your nervous system. Notice the way that it changes how you feel in your body. Notice the way how it changes your sleep patterns. So this practice is hugely important, and I can't wait for you to try it. And then finally, let's go back to having community, to having a village. And sometimes this means being vulnerable and asking. Sometimes it means prioritizing our resources to gathering help. There is no other time that is more important to make sure you have the support you need than during these sacred windows. And this is really the primary one. So make sure that you are prioritizing resources to give you not just the birthing person, not just the mom. Make sure that everybody in the household feels held during this incredible transition. So I hope that this has sparked some recommitment to yourself of hey, how am I bonding with my child? How am I bonding with my partner? How can I increase that? Because I find that it's, for me, like we go through waves in our relationships over here, and I have a feeling others probably relate to this of, oh yeah, we just feel disconnected right now. And it just takes some intention to reopen that bonding, whether it's my child, whether it's my husband, whether it's my friends. Um, but the qualities here of applying skills and planning for them, warm oil, And of course, making sure that I'm resourced and I'm supported as I need it. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Shanti, Shanti.
The Center for Sacred Window Studies has been training postpartum care providers, professionals who work with new families, and individuals passionate about postpartum care since 2018. We regularly host live free events alongside our online and in-person training and certification programs. Hop on our newsletter list to get direct access to all of our events and community support gatherings. Our mission is not only in training conscious postpartum care providers, but in fostering a robust, informed, and thriving community of postpartum professionals. Once you step inside, you're family forever. Visit www.sacredwindowstudies.com to add your email to our newsletter list. You can support our work by subscribing to the Sacred Window podcast and sharing with someone you know who would love it. Thanks for being here and participating in the culture-wide shift that recognizes the need for and the importance of conscious postpartum care.